Hanson Gifford, my partner, is often, when we start to think about how do you put together an R&D plan in the early days, he harkens back to a conversation he had back when he was working at Hartport and posed that question. How do you put together a project plan in the early, formative days of a project when you're just iterating and you don't know what the results are going to be week to week? The answer was you can't really necessarily put a timeline to it. You can measure the rate of progress and decide whether you're moving fast enough. There certainly, as you get down to a design and can define what the design is going to be, then that's when you switch over and you put some hard milestones to it. Now, it's a back and forth because obviously you can't just go unformed forever. So you've got to make that rapid progress and chart your progress, make sure that you think you're getting to, mostly in a startup, it's a financial timeline. There's only enough money to run so long, and you've got to get certain progress by then. But it tends to be a transition from measure the rate of progress to, okay, now let's put formal deadlines out there and things that we really have to hit. The key milestones for early technical development, broadly speaking, they're the kind of obvious ones. There's proof of concept in a bench model. In our space, most often that's in a bench model of some sort of cadaver tissue, either animal or human, depending on the system. And then the next major milestone is getting into the clinic. And we prioritize getting into early human clinical data very, very highly. Getting into human clinical data as early as possible is key because you just can't learn much about efficacy in an animal model. It's the very rare exception when there's a relevant large animal model that gives you insight into how your device might work. That work, the bench work and the animal work, the preclinical stuff is simply to prove safety and to maybe give you an indication that there's hope, there's a reason to believe that you could provide a benefit. Mostly that, in our experience, comes from, the hope of benefit comes mostly from clinical literature and other areas than the actual product development testing. So until you get it in humans, you really know nothing about whether it'll work.